Welcome to Inside the Futurist Mind, where I give you insight into how I, as a futurist, think. Of all the things you could be doing right now on planet Earth, why are we sitting here thinking about this particular topic about the future? It is helpful to think in terms of being an explorer. We are going on an expedition, moving into uncharted territory. The future does not exist. So why have we chosen to do this exploration? Our approach, Framework Foresight, begins an exploration of the future by identifying a key framing issue or question to guide the project. A good focal issue orients a project exploration, not only as a starting point, what question is it we are trying to answer, but it can also reorient us during the exploration if we start to drift off track. How do you come up with these questions? The best place to start, not surprisingly, is the beginning. Why did this question come to us in the first place? So back in 2012, a graduate student, Christopher Manfredi, brought up the question is, what is the next economic system after capitalism? We talked about it in class. Really interesting discussions. We made it the topic of our annual spring gathering, and of course, it launched me into the exploration that continues this day. So that question intrigued us, focused us, and actually, for me, led to a dozen years of work. If a client has brought a topic to you, ask them why. Have a discussion about the origins, hopes, dreams, as well as the realities and the bottom line. A way we can help is to listen, reflect, and maybe at a later time, come back with a framing and suggest, is this it? We are actually fine with moving ahead and starting some horizon scanning, even if we just say 80% there, because that initial probing may enable us to come back more informed, tweak our question a bit, and ask again, is this it? We can iterate this many times. Another thing that comes up is what we call our altitude or the right scale. You might think of this as the Goldilocks question for getting it just right. For altitude, say 10,000 feet is the future of the world, 1,000 feet is the future of tire rims, 10,000 feet is tires, 20,000 feet is the whole assembly. So we ask ourselves, what altitude best serves the client needs? The last tip for a good focal issue is defining your terms. In a project we did in the future of communities, we spent a whole week getting to agreement on what we meant by community, since we all had different conceptions. Similarly, when I was writing After Capitalism, I had to define what was meant by capitalism. I picked the broader sense of it as an operating system to make it clear we weren't just talking about economics. I landed on what are potentially compelling guiding images of the next system after capitalism. It was tremendously useful in keeping me focused over the more than dozen years that I worked on that book. In sum, a good focal issue orients and reorients so that we can deliver proper value to our clients. For more information like this, don't forget to subscribe, like the video if it provides value, and feel free to comment with other questions you might have about Foresight work. Looking forward.